ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
The more contagious new variant of COVID-19 is already here in San Diego County. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. The 30-year-old man with the variant strain is now in isolation. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo joins us live with why the county thinks there are more cases out there tonight. Laura.
Well, this person hasn't traveled, and that is why county officials feel that there are already more cases of this variant here in our county. Contact tracing is happening as we speak. Now, the person with this variant is a man. He is not hospitalized at the moment, and we know that 2 household members are being tested today. One of them does have symptoms. Now, county officials say the 30-year-old first developed symptoms on Sunday and was tested yesterday. The test came back positive around 5 in the afternoon, and by 3 this morning, Scripps researchers were able to confirm it was in fact the UK variant. Now, researchers say there are still many unknowns about this new strain and that it doesn't appear to be more severe, but it is showing to be more contagious.
The things that work for the normal version of coronavirus is also going to work for this particular version of the coronavirus. It's still the same virus. It's not different in that. It's just that this new lineage here may be transmitting a little better. So that's why we really need to double down on these various different measures we can all do to stop the transmission.
Dr. Anderson from Scripps Research says we will learn more about this variant in the coming weeks as data continues to come out both locally and from the UK. But again, he says that we can do things like continue wearing our masks, social distancing, and not gathering to prevent this variant from spreading even more. Reporting live, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Laura, thank you. Mayor Todd Gloria is getting tough with businesses and groups that defy public health mandates. Today, he signed an executive order demanding police pursue fines and other enforcement actions against the most defiant violators.
This executive order is not designed to further punish those who have consistently done the right thing. This executive order is to hold accountable those who are responsible for prolonging this pandemic with their selfishness.
Gloria is also suspending parking enforcement in the city of San Diego to encourage people to stay home. That goes into effect at midnight.
Governor Gavin Newsom says he wants to set aside $2 billion to help schools safely reopen beginning as early as February. The plan is to reopen the youngest grade levels first, while older students would be phased in over the spring. Reopenings will be tied to case rates. Money will be available to regularly test teachers and students, provide PPE, and make building upgrades. ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl has the breakdown.
State officials say after months of distance learning, it's clear some students are falling behind, particularly from low-income families. When schools do reopen, the governor and his team say part of their $2 billion plan will help address the impact of learning loss.
Looking at extending the day, looking at extending into the summer, looking at the opportunity to get tutors and additional supports to address comprehensively the learning loss, I can assure you, is not only top of mind, it's foundational.
State officials say they're working on ways to reimagine the school year to catch struggling students up in a short amount of time. They're still working out the details, but they say the $2 billion plan should allow for additional instruction time after school and over the summer.
But from my standpoint, what we do to offset learning gaps has to start on day one when schools reopen, whether they're in-person instruction or in distance learning.
State Superintendent Tony Thurmond says California will continue to invest in ways to improve distance learning because even as schools reopen in phases, all parents will still have the option to keep their children at home. It's also not clear when middle and high school students will be allowed to return to campus. Even as new studies show the risk of transmission in elementary schools is low, the research suggests a higher potential for spread in high schools. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Here are the latest numbers. The county reported another 2,400 cases today, bringing our total to 152,000. There were 37 new deaths, bringing that total to 1,472.
And while the vaccine rollout continues, Pfizer is now testing its vaccine on children ages 12 to 17. The goal is to make sure it's as safe and effective on them as it is with the adults. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala spoke to a San Diego teenager participating in this study.
I just want life to be back to normal.
Del Norte High School sophomore Kyle Sullivan signed up to participate in Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine trial on children.
The faster we can get these trials done for the teenage group, the faster the FDA will approve it.
The 15-year-old had his first appointment at the trial site for the Pfizer study in Kearney Mesa earlier this month.
Went in, had to sign a few papers, had to get blood drawn, do a nasal swab.
Then he was given a shot of either the placebo or the actual vaccine.
I just had my second appointment a couple days ago.
After both doses, Kyle says he experienced some symptoms that lasted about a day.
Fever, headache.
Pfizer's most recent global data shows that 1,090 participants between the ages of 12 and 15 and 738 participants ages 16 and 17 have been enrolled in COVID-19 vaccine trials. Dr. David Pride, an infectious disease specialist at UCSD Health, says enrolling children in vaccine clinical trials is common and important.
Whether it's the measles, mumps, rubella vaccination, all of those vaccinations are given to children. So it's actually quite typical to test vaccinations on children.
He says while most young people haven't been greatly impacted by COVID-19, vaccinating kids would help stop the spread to the older population.
It's going to be very, very difficult to get rid of COVID-19 without basically vaccinating the entire population.
Kyle is happy to be a part of the solution, but he's most looking forward to getting back to his normal life.
It'll be really nice to actually get back into class, see my teachers, and seeing friends.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
We all want that. Stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
We have a crime alert. A man caught on camera inappropriately touching women at stores in the North County. ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano spoke to the victims who say he needs to be caught. And we should warn you, this video may be disturbing to viewers.
On Christmas Eve, Rachel Medellin was doing some last-minute shopping at Ralph's in San Marcos. Then suddenly,
he came up behind me and pressed his body against mine, specifically his pelvic area.
With his hands up, he told her it was an accidental bump. Medellin was shocked and confused.
I could feel that it wasn't an accident, and I was really trying to decipher of whether or not he was telling the truth or if he was a bad guy.
A story all too familiar for Becky Charlton.
I just felt somebody grab my bottom.
Just 2 hours before the incident at Ralph's, Charlton was at the Michaels in Vista. Same man, same MO.
He just put his hands up and he goes, sorry, sorry. And he acted like it was an accident.
If you watch closely, prior to the attack, you see the man touching himself. He then turns, pauses, and thrusts himself. Charlton says she didn't report her incident until seeing this video circulating on social media.
I recognized his outfit immediately.
The Sheriff's Department is now investigating at least 4 incidents that occurred within the last 2 weeks. Now, neighboring agencies are also getting similar reports.
In a lot of these cases, it took several days because I think people just believed it was an accident. We all want to believe that people don't have bad intentions, but unfortunately, that is the case.
A plea from law enforcement and the victims.
It's definitely a lesson if this happens again to scream and cause a scene.
He's been making women feel like this for months.
If you see him,
and
call police.
And he's still out there.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
The groper is described as a slender Asian man between 20 and 30 years old. He's about 5'8", 140 to 150 pounds. He was last seen wearing a baseball cap, hoodie, and shorts. And we have an update on breaking news that we've been following since 5 o'clock. Crews have knocked down a house fire near Rolando. It broke out about 5:30 on Romo Street. 3 children went to the hospital with smoke inhalation, along with an adult who jumped out a second-floor window. 1 firefighter suffered a minor burn.
And more breaking news. The most prolific serial killer in U.S. history has died. The California Corrections Department says that Samuel Little passed away today. It was just a couple of years ago that Little revealed he had killed at least 93 people in 19 states between 1970 and 2005. Almost all were prostitutes, drug addicts, and people living on the margins of society.